Ay. Okay, welcome guys to our um, IT 313 class. This is the first session, and I'm very happy that you joined me this evening. And supposedly we had this one is our PM class because we had the AM class last yesterday. So let's talk about the topic for this session. First things first, we'll have the lecture first, then the second, after that, your question and answer. Then afterwards will be some announcements and some changes or things that we're going to talk about. But for now, our topic for this evening is about research. And as you can see on your screen, it says there that is a module 1 or chapter 1 of our topic for this evening. So what is research? So research is a creative and systematic work undertaken to increase the work or increase the stock of knowledge. No, so when we speak about research, it's involved the collection, the organization, and analysis of information to increase understanding of a topic or an issue. So therefore, when we speak about a research project, this may be an expansion on past work in the field. So what do you mean by that, guys? To test the validity of instruments, procedures, or experiments, no? So research may replicate elements of prior projects or the project as a whole. Now, what is the purpose of research? No, the primary purpose of basic research are documentation, discovery, interpretation, and the research and development of methods and systems for advancement of human knowledge. So that is about it, no? Now, to approach the approach of research depend on some epistemologies or fields, which vary from within or between humanities and sciences. Pero guys, for me, in my own personal point of view, we conduct research because we ask questions. And there are problems that needed to be solved. So may mga problema ang kinahanglan isolbar. So that is why we need research, no, before we can come up with a conclusion or a methodology to remedy the problem. So first things first for tonight. Our objective for tonight is to number 1, discuss research and its nature, types, role, and methods. Number 2, value research and its nature, types, roles, and methods. And number 3, understand research and its nature, types, roles, and methods. So for the nature of research, when we speak about nature of research, we this means this or refers to a systematic and critical investigation of a phenomena. So a phenomena is something that happens, no? And it identifies the variables, collects and analyzes data on such variables to find answers to certain crucial questions. So hambal ko kagina, we do research because we ask questions and there's a problem that needs to be solved. So that is why we do research. And then it also contribute to further increase human knowledge. Then orderliness is the hallmark of research, and research has to have an organic unity. Meaning to say, research must have a purpose. Without purpose, daw hindi ka kumaan kung ano yung sulbaron mo sa problema mo. So you must have a purpose in conducting research. So this becomes essential, especially if the body of knowledge which accrues from research is to be verified. Meaning to say, if you conduct research, it must be verifiable or pwede mo ma-verify. How? Just like what we did last time sa subject natin sa quantitative methods, no? When speak about quantitative methods, we do statistics or statistical data. So statistics is part of research, meaning to say it varies from the interpretation or the perspective of the researcher. So, kung paano mo siya i-plaster, kag paano mo i-interpret, depende sa mga statistical tools nga gamiton ninyo. So, that is why, guys, nag-align ang subject nato, no, nga quantitative methods sa research methods in computing subject. It's because research is must be verifiable. So karon mamanan ninyo kung paano siya kung ano ang ginatawag na verifiability, no. Okay, so let's go to the characteristics of research, no. There are actually four of characteristics. These are the number one is objectivity, number two is precision, number three is design, and as I've said, number four is verifiability. So when you speak about objectivity, it means that this is the ideal part of research that is beyond the subjective bias of the researcher. Meaning to say, the researcher makes deliberate efforts to eliminate personal preferences, resisting temptation to seek such data and support his hypothesis. So take note that in research, you must have an hypothesis. These hypotheses are some things or intuition of a person and must be proven. So hypothesis, ano mo pa lang daw kung sa Tagalog is haka-haka mo pa lang. Pero ang haka-haka mo, close to reality, where you need to prove that hypothesis. So paano mo siya i-prove? So there are certain methods that you need to do. Like for example, statistical method, you have to measure. And how to measure this? You have to use statistics for measurement. Now, the emphasis of objectivity is on testing. So, ginatestingan nyo, gid. Ang hypothesis nyo kung sakto, gid kung hindi. So, kinanglan, ginatest nyo anay, kag bago nyo i-prove. And then, the researcher is willing to suspend personal judgment and permit the data and logic to lead independently to a sound conclusion. So, number one is objectivity. And it is achieved through standardization of research instruments, meaning to say you have a certain standard or rule to follow, and so that you had a niche to measure. So may kumparan ka. So you have to compare your data to the standard data that is being gathered or to the standard tool that is present. So objectivity must choose appropriate research design and analytical tools and ensuring dependability of the data. So number two is precision. When we speak about precision, it is a scientific research is achieved to the use of statistical methods and techniques. So last SEM in our subject, quantitative methods, we use statistics. So as statistics are methods and technique, wherein it is a standard that you're going to use, and it must have your conclusion can be conveyed to the exact meaning of the reader. So, ang ginimo naton just like ang central measures of central tendency, no? Ginabuol naton yung mean, median, mode na. So, paano niyo siya i-interpret pagkatapos? So, that is measures of central tendency. Naghimo man kita variability. Ano ang variable na ginagamit naton? Ano ang value ka variables? Kung paano naton gamiton? So nagamit gani kita ka statistical tool ang SPSS para mag-assist ka naton sa paghimo naton ka pag-navigate naton sa data naton kag pag-interpret. So we also have correlation and regression and others, no? These are the most precise expression in quantitative research which explains or represent the truth. So there is truth in numbers, no? Di ba may hurubaton ka mo strength in numbers pero truth ang iban may hurubaton man nga truth in numbers, meaning to say ang value ka number wala ga change. That is why you can represent it or compute it precisely. So 1 plus 1 is always 2. Nag 1 plus 1 is 11 lang kamo kung binary number ang ginagamit ninyo nga standard. Pero kung numerical value lang, 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Okay? So that is precision, no? And precision describes the study accurately so that the study may be replicated or the results correctly used. Number three is design. when you speak about design, the researcher has to have very specified design of carrying out the investigation. The implication of this is that scientific inquiry will be undergoing several steps. So number one step is defining the problem. You have to define a problem, no guys. Number two is statement of hypothesis. So you must have a hypothesis, you must have null hypothesis and um, alternative hypothesis. Meaning to say, you hypothesize things first before you can prove them. Then collection and analysis of data. After the analysis, you have the testing and confirmation of hypothesis. And number five is result reporting of results. So may 5 ka steps na gina-follow sa design. Now for the design, only if the researcher can be carried out using a specified process, it can be replicated for verification. So that is design, guys. And ang number one, we are going to conduct the design phase maybe next week. What I mean about that is, guys, I will because we're going to you're going to present five problems, no, and then we're going to select 3. That research problem will be presented by groups, no, accordingly. So next meeting, guys, I will draw lots. Maybe I'll just present it na kanay I have said kagin yesterday sa mga classmate ninyo nga i-draw lot ta kamo, guys, nga i-draw lots ta kamo sa sa pag-grouping. So the purpose of that is for you to be able to be on a group fairly, no, fair and square. So the reason of that is you have to present researches, and then we're going to decide 3 best research that you're going to conduct, and then during the final you have to defend chapters 1 to 3. Ang tatlo kabilog, ang isa kabilog nga problem, ang problem gid nga gusto niyo himuan ka research. So by that time, to be fair among your classmates, I have to group you according to I think ang grouping ninyo, guys, i-randomize ko na lang daan nga pagpili ka ninyo. And then I will post your contact number sa naton, sa sa group, FB group, so that you can contact your classmates and talk about and think about 5 problems, and you are going to defend at least 3 problems, no, during the final. So among the so that we can have or select the best problem for your group, what we're going to do is to invite a panel for this. Now the panel will consist about faculty members, and then I will also ask some experts from the field of technology, maybe from other agencies or from other companies nga mga IT experts. So among them siguro I don't know if I can invite some people in the industry, and so that I can actually we can actually go on with the defense, no, for the groupings, no, not for the groupings, but the problem na gid nga i-defend ninyo during the title defense and the final defense. Maybe in the title defense para lang sa mga teachers ninyo ang panel, pero kung mag-final na siguro, I will invite some guests from other agencies and IT fields, so that you'll be represented, and then they can comment on how the proceedings will be given to us. So think about your problem nga i-defend ninyo, guys, nga dang useful nga studyhan sa IT ninyo, so that by the time or next year you'll be prepared already to have your capstone project, no. So your capstone project belongs to technological research, and technological research belongs to applied research. So there are 2 types of researches karon makita ninyo after sa activity 2 ninyo or before sa activity 2, after sa activity number 1. You'd be able to see there the type of research. Note that there are only 2 kinds of research, fundamental and applied. and technological research belongs to applied research. So from now on, we are going to think about or align ourselves in applied research. So in applied research, there's a what you're going to do is finding out the truth, and you have to support it through scientific method. Okay. Any questions so far, guys? Any questions so far? So there are four characteristics of research, no? So let's summarize. Objectivity, number one. Number two is precision. Number three is design. And number four is verifiability. Okay? Now, for your activity number one, what you're going to do is to have Pick Collage 101. So what we're going to do is you're going to refer to characteristics of research, no? So there are four characteristics na makita nyo kagina. Na apat sanda ka bilog. So make a picture collage of these characteristics. So out of four, then label them accordingly to its use or function. So you may use any online and offline software, provided it will be copy pasted to any word processor. So you are going to use Microsoft Word, I assume. Then what you're going to do is for each characteristics, like for example objectivity, ANI number one, then you have to put there 5 pictures, and then each picture must have a label. So that means to say that kung apat sanda, apat katag lima, so 20 ka pictures ang ano ninyo. So din ninyo guys, obrahon daya, you go to Google and click image and then select and search for the characteristics of research, so you can see their objectivity, precision, design, and verifiability. Then afterwards, copy-paste lang. Ang wala lang siya guys, it copyright implications ang pilion ninyo. So para nga hindi ka mo technical sa copyright ownership. Then afterwards, what you're going to do is to convert your Microsoft Word file into PDF. So kung convert in as PDF, you will upload it to your Google Classroom. Now, our module is there already in our later on, I will give you the glimpse of your Google Classroom kung ano sulod na, kung pirado ka makabilog ang kung ano ang na-assign doon ng activity. So there are about 2 activities now. Activity 1 and 2 is usually coupled in your module, and your module is flashed during Mondays, no? Sometimes Sundays pagani. Then what you're going to do is to pass it on Saturday. So the deadline is on Saturday morning at 11:59 a.m. So take note is aga. Sabado it aga. It udto. Ang deadline kay inyong activity, no? Activity 1 and 2 for this week. And then some last sem, your deadline was supposedly during Fridays. Now, it's on Saturday pa, so that you'll have ample time to make your activities, guys. Okay. So, we're on IT 313 in our subject, research methods in computing. Most of the time, what we're talking about here is about research problems, no, and the steps on how to conduct researches. So it's very easy, guys, if you follow through every week, so that you can conduct your activity or some of the assignments that I'll be going or giving you for each week, so that I can monitor you. If ever you have any inquiry about this, you have to ask me later on, or you can PM me directly sometime afterwards, no, or during any time of the week, so that I can comply with you, no. I can reply with you, and if you have questions, we can remedy the problem if there is any. Okay. So that is your activity number 1, guys. So as I've said, there are 2 types of researches, no, fundamental research and applied research. So first things first, fundamental research is actually this aims to obtain the empirical data that can be used to formulate or expand or evaluate the theory, no. So this type of research study is not oriented in design or purpose toward a solution, pero It is essential to expand the frontiers of knowledge without any intentions of practical application. So for the fundamental research is just theoretical, guys. Now, you may find the eventuality applied to practical problems that have a social value. So for example, no, the advances in the practice of medicine, medicine, are dependent upon the basic research in biochemistry and microbiology. So karang una yung bulong naton ginatunaw lang, gaano lang kamo kadang mga herbal medicines, tapos gina-extract ang duga na, tapos ginainom naton da direkta doon, daw hinahimo nga potion. Pero tulad, due to the advancement of technology, ang mga gamay, ang mga herbal medicine, pati gani ang lampunaya kag ang balunggay, ginabukbok na ginabulad sa initan, tapos ginabukbok kag ginahimong a powder. And then ang powder nga ginabutang doon sa capsule, sa kapsula. Ay para nga kung hindi do ka mo mag-inom katong mapait nga extract na nga ano ng duga ka lampunaya ay mapait. Ginabutang doon lang sa capsule para nga imnon yun lang direkta kag matunaw sa tiyan ninyo. So that is fundamental research, no? So to the advancement of technology, we come up with other means to intake medicine. So that is an example. So that is an example of fundamental research, no? So basic research in economics and sociology, and then the primary concern for fundamental research is the creation of knowledge solely for the sake of knowledge lang yun. So it is not designed to be hampered or consideration of special or useful things. Bagkus, ang fundamental research is nagapapag-on lang yun to discover a new body of knowledge. So that is fundamental research. Now, when we speak about applied research, this form of systematic inquiry is involving in the practical application of science, no? So it access and uses some parts of the research communities and the academies to accumulate theories, knowledge, and methods and techniques for a specific, often state business or client-driven purpose. Moreover, applied research is directed towards the solution of immediate, specific, and practical problem. So immediate and specific means kinanglan kung ano yung problema, tuldukan dugid ang problema nga daa using research methods, no? So this is performed in relation to actual problems and under condition which they are found in practice. So through applied research, development professionals are able to solve problems at an appropriate level of complexity. Example na kadya is group dynamics. And for rural setting, we may depend on research for discovering more general rules of group dynamics. Pero it is essential to have a scientific method to to have a change of development that is hampering a certain area of study. So it needs to be noted that there is not always a sharp line of demarcation between basic and applied research. So we apply theories of group dynamics in the community. And on the other hand, basic research may depend on the findings of the applied research to complete its theoretical formulation. So meaning to say, direct to the point ang research natin, on point. At the same time, you value this kind of researches because it answers a specific problem. So that's what we are going to do. We are going to undergo capstone research, no? And capstone research is still technological research and developmental studies. So that is why it is aligned in applied research. Okay? For your activity number 2, what you're going to do is to contrast and compare. So you're going to see figure 3 in your module. You can see their fundamental versus applied research. So in your own words, contrast and compare fundamental research from applied research. So i-compare nyo sanda. Provide at least 5 comparison between the two, and you may use any online or offline software, provided it will be copy-pasted to any word processor. So you have to convert it also to PDF and save it as activity number 2. Then you're going to upload it in your Google Classroom and then smile while doing the activity. Godspeed. So I think this is your activity number 2, guys. You have to look for figure 3 in our module. may label man dyan yung figure 3. I-contrast and compare lang gid ninyo yung fundamentals of applied research. Okay, compare ninyo siya. So let's go to the code of the day. Now, what is the code of the day? Code of the day is actually ang ano naton. This is your attendance. You know, if you wonder what is code of the day, this is your attendance on attending our session for this evening. So it is essential kay why kita actually why kamo ginagrade dan sa attendance. Ang ginagrade naman kaninyo is for your recitation. So to avail recitation, Borbay at 7 p.m. until ano lang siya, open lang siya 7 p.m. until 10 p.m. karon sa gabi or tonight hasta 10 p.m. Meaning to say you can answer the code of the day. If you can answer the code of the day, you will be given 10 points for your recitation. So 10 points ganda sa recitation ninyo. And recitation is 10% of your grade. So every session naton may code of the day kita para manan ko kung kamo gid man nag-attend ka ano naton kadang klase tulad. So medyan abi iban some of your classmates or some of the students when they attending an online class, sometimes ginapabayaan lang nanda phone nanda or wise nanda pamati nagahimo kay iban or brahon. So to make sure that you're attending our class for tonight and for the sessions that we'll be having, so we have the code of the day. Okay? So later on, i-post ko din nyo makita ang code of the day. To yan yung makita daya sa Google Classroom ninyo. And everything of your grades, including your activity, your major exam, which comprise of your midterm and final, and your quiz. Your quiz will be posted on Friday at 10 a.m. So, i-open ninyo yung Google Classroom ninyo and then subtin ninyo yung quiz sa Friday at 10 a.m. Every Friday 10 a.m. guys. Yung quizzes ninyo, yung quiz. So, after kadayang session, bantayin ninyo sa naton, sa Google Classroom ang code of the day ninyo and then you can answer. So, the question for the code of the day for tonight is what is the color of my t-shirt during our first session? So what do you think ang color ka t-shirt ko tulad? I think ang color ka t-shirt ko is kung makita ninyo daw green siya sa screen ninyo pero hindi siya green or hindi man siya black. Kung color blind ka, black yung makita mo. So yung black tana ang sa ang sa pakpak ni Batman ang black. Yo. Ang sa sulod na yellow. Pero ang color ka t-shirt ko is gray. Okay? So gray daya guys. Yeah, color ka t-shirt ko. So sino nakamaan nga gray ang t-shirt ko kamo lang because that is the code of the day for tonight. Okay? Sige. So I think that is all. I think that is all for tonight. And let me give you my motto. So the ad astra per sapientia, it means to the stars through knowledge. So thank you so much guys for attending our class for this evening. And thank you all. I think you are 13. We are now 13 in our So hindi ka mo magpanaw ay pakita ka tapos ka session naton. Before we talk about something, do you have any questions regarding our lesson for this evening? Okay, if you have questions guys, sige. Ginabasa ko di sa dang chat box ang ang mga messages ninyo. Okay, if you don't have if you are shy asking question, you can put your question here at the chat box so that I can read and answer it. Or pwede ka mo ka pamangkot directly. You open your microphones and you can speak so that I can hear any inquiries or questions from you guys. Okay, so a grade daya to, color ka ko ha. Sige. But anyway, that is for the color of for the code of the day na. For the guys, let me remind you of using your .edu accounts, no? ang plastada guys ka Google Classroom naton tulad it is because we are mandated by CHED to go online, no, and conduct classes sa web. So that means to say that we have to use extensively ang Google Classroom. So tanan-tanan ninyo guys nga activity, quizzes, kag mga major exam kag ano dapat sa sulod kag Google Classroom lang gid. So hindi pwede guys nga magtao kamo ka requirement ninyo outside of the Google Classroom. And hindi gid kamo ka pasakop sa mga classmate ninyo kapadara ka mga activity. Hayin sa kad ang inyong nga email address naka-unique day nga identification nga kamo day yan nagpasa. So meaning to say kung ipadara abi example lang ni Vincent anang activity kay Ella May or kay Joylyn. So hindi na pwede guys. Ang ma-appear dato sa Google Classroom ninyo hindi ang ngaran ni Vincent pero ang kay Ella May kag kay Joylyn. So kung dapat inyo gid nga personal nga email address ang gamiton. Now if you have a problem regarding your email addresses, hindi nyo ma-open Google Classroom gamit ang email ad or hindi nyo hindi gid kamo ka open ka account niyo. Dr. Annalisa Alingalan is in charge of our .edu accounts sa bilog nga San Enrique campus. So if you have problems, contact Dr. Alingalan or Sage so that pwede na ma-reset ang inyong email addresses. Okay? Now, if your problem naman is why kamot signal sa balay ninyo or sa kundiin ang sa lugar ninyo, I think no guys, ang why I don't know sa other subjects ninyo no. Pero ako 'di ba gapangalasit akon duha ka beses. So may klase kita sa subject kanya sa udto sa hapon yesterday. And then may klase pagid kita do karon nga gabi. So pwede ka mo kapili. Ka ano ninyo ka example join na ninyo nga klase. So pero ang klase ko karang nagligad nga adlaw kag tulad nga gabi pareho lang na ang content na. Or kung gusto niyo man mag-attend nga karang sa afternoon, pwede man kamo di ka-attend sa evening. Way matkaso da kanakon. So it's pero actually ang sulod kag gina-lecture ko kaninyo the same man to last sa sa yesterday sa may iba yung mga classmates. So gin-disregard ko na lang ang section ninyo because what is important is some of you will conduct classes in the afternoon, some of you in the evening. Kay manan ko iban kaninyo may obra, ang iban kaninyo hindi man ka-attend sa gabi, sa morning, sa afternoon sa makano. So kung way kamo signal sa balay nyo, tuya kamo tuya kita madto sa pangalase naton sa hapon sa every Tuesday 2 PM to 3 PM. So that may time kamo nga maghalin sa balay nyo, makaadto kamo sa mga classmate ninyo nga may signal andang lugar, kag tuya kamo maka-attend ka klase naton. So I think that is the remedy no sa mga nga white signal. I think I don't know lang sa iba nyo nga klase guys kung ano oras ang inyo nga pero insa nga amo day ang schedule naton Tuesday afternoon and Wednesday evening because it is based on sa schedule ng gitaw kanamon ni Sage ni Dr. Alingalan. So para hindi kita makatublag sa iba nga subject, ang klase naton why dapat conflict sa attendance ninyo sa iba nga teachers, sa iba nga subject. So that is why ang nakitaan ko sa nga schedule amo day ay pwede naton klasihan ang afternoon ka Tuesday and evening ka Wednesday. So I hope klaro do guys ha. Kay some of your classmates inquired ti paano sir ang white signal. Yes, Vincent, do you have something to say to?
Sir, dito sa schedule naman saray sa 3B. Wala dula to.
Ang diin nga schedule to sa naton sa oo. Hindi naton siguro to ma-utilize ang sa 3D. Butang balon ang klase nyo nga to, pwede ang schedule nato nga to, pwede ninyo to pwede ka mo to kaobra ka mga activity naton sa amo nga subject. Pero
Okay, sir.
hindi gid naton siguro guys magamit dato nga mga lase kita. Hay para ay conflict abi guys sa conflict abi sa third year. Actually pareho ang schedule ninyo ka third year. Ka fourth year, I'm sorry, fourth abi ko second year pa kamo third year do kamo gali. Nag-conflict kita sa ka subject ko ang ICT 410. Nag-conflict ang schedule ninyo sa anak ka fourth year. Tigin pa umod ko lang inyo. So nakita ko ya bakante ninyo guys. Kay why man kamot section bala nga second nga third year ta na or hindi ko sure kung ano yung section nga ano gid. Pero ang nakita ko nga time nga pwede ninyo klasihan Tuesday afternoon and today ang sa gabi. Hay pasensya lang gid kamo guys. Hindi man ako abi ang nag-obra ka schedule. Ti nag-conflict kamo sa anak ka fourth year. Ti sa time nga to amo to ya pangalasihan namon. Hay anda darwa man ka beses kita darwa masanda ka beses mga lasi man narumaan ako actually to Thursday harumaan do klase ko 9 a.m. kag ang gabi naman nga 6. So duwa ka klase man ang klasihan ko sa 410 para ma-accommodate ko man ang gapangalasi sa morning kag ang gapangalasi sa evening. So kinanglan ko gid nga himuon daya guys para ma-wider ang reach naton kapangalasi kag fair sa iba nyo nga classmates. Ang problema ko ang kaninyo why ako problema hay tanan kamo nakaadto dun sa Google Classroom. Tanan kamo 39. Ang problema ko ang second year hay medyo maawat gid. Kapirado ko mag-announce why man sa nagyapon nag-adto sa although nag-attend sanda sa FB group naka-in sanda. Pero dang padungol bilang hambal nga hindi magsulod sa classroom hay nag-umpisa do yung klase. Hindi pwede guys kay may activity ang tulad niya umpisa ka klase naton. Ti karon kun pareho ka dang second sem nga natabo nga na-delay kita 2 weeks. Ano yagwa na hindi kita nyo bitin ang actually I don't know about you pero bitin ang naton ang number of weeks. Ti kita ya mapinitensya kada hay may kun ma-delay kita manumduman ninyo bala why ako nagatao ka activity ninyo kon exam week. Like for example, mag-midterm abi kag final, why do ko nagatao kada ka activity? Isa ka bulan ang madura ka naton. Hindi ko pwede ma-compromise ang amod ang scenario nga lugi ka mo sa ang natun-an ninyo bala. Ang problema lang gid tulad ang module ninyo sa lang gid ma-access anay why it go signal nga ma-print kami guys kag itao kaninyo pareho ka nagligad hay insa ginmanduan kami nga ma-online nga pure online anay itestingan bala kon makaya ang pure online although I don't know kung ano ang incentive nga itao nanda kaninyo hindi man ko sigurado pay bati ko may itao man kuno nga assistance bala sanda pero hindi ko da sigurado guys ay chismis mo lang ng akon hindi that why ako that source hindi ko da mapamatud-an kaninyo I don't know kung sino matao ang school or ang nga assistance bala kaninyo nga tag 100 pesos pero I don't know kung sigurado da or why paano lang ninyo daadang hulaton na pangamayuan lang naton nga madayon kag may mga assistance man kamo sa LGU bala ninyo I think may dayan man dasan nga itao kaninyo sa DSWD sa mga college students. Pero hindi lang ako sigurado man kung saan o kag kung ano yung proseso pagid. Ang CHED abi may memo sa katanan ng SUC. Hindi lang ang ISCOF sa bilog nga SUCs kag mga HEIs, higher educational institutions kag state universities and colleges nga ma-online gid sanda guys sa LMS nanda gid sanda nagatao why do sanda gadulong ka mga module sa mga banwa-banwa ang West Visayas kada to nagahimo bala kada I don't know sa Kalinog kung pa sanda kay why ako ka pamangkot kay an kung nagadulong pa sanda ka module sa kabataan pero ang CHED kinanglan
Why dun, sir, sa
why na sila naga-online do sanda naga-online do sanda so i-demo ko do karon inyong Google Classroom no kung paano ninyo i-download ang module kung gusto ninyo i-download Although pwede niyo naman nagyapon makita guys ang module sa classroom naton. Pero para nga pwede niyo ma-download bala yung module niyo. So this one is my Google Classroom, no. Ang atong subject is 313. So this one. And this is an example of our this is actually our Google Classroom guide. So as you can see here sa stream, diyan ang announcements tanan kag mga activity nga gina-posting. So sa people naman, these are your classmates, no. Kay na 39 kamo, so bong 45 na kamo gali. So I think nagsulod do sa Google Classroom ang 6 kabilog pa na students. Hey, 39 lang diya kagina. So diyan mga pangalan ninyo guys, so kung makita ninyo, it means nga nakasulod na kamo sa Google Classroom. And then for the grades ninyo guys, makip track ninyo daya every week. Day ipakita ko kaninyo kung ano yung sulod na activity ninyo wa ipat may nakapasa. So hindi pa kamo mag-grade dan. So tanan nyo ang code of the day karon magwa man day. Pati ang quizzes ninyo sa every Friday magwa man day sa lang grade. And then yung overall grade ninyo makita ninyo. So makita ninyo kung wa pa kamo kapasa or nakapasa do kamo or pera ang grade ninyo sa napasa ninyong activity. Ang classwork naton is this one. Ang naka-upload pa lang is course syllabus naton. So i-click nyo daya di. Pag-click nyo kada diya sa dalom na this one. This is our course syllabus. Okay. So this is the course syllabus of our subject, no? Para may tamdan kamo guys kapag pasunod ka kanang naton, no? Topics naton. So pwede niyo din makita kung ano yung topics naton, no? Diya. Yung pagpasunod na manan ninyo. So kung gusto niyo i-download ang course syllabus naton or i-print, kung i-print niyo direkta, i-click niyo lang diya. Then ma-print niyo da sa computeran or kung may printer kamo. Kung gusto niyo i-download, i-click niyo lang ang more actions, then open a new window. Then kita niyo ang arrow nga diya. Pag-click niyo kada ang arrow nga da, ma-download da automatic. So i-save niyo di sa downloads. Pag kung i-click ko ng save, ma-download da guys. Yeah, inyo nga course syllabus. The same man sa module ninyo. I'm sorry. Okay, sige. The same thing man sa ninyo sa module ninyo. So this is a chapter 1. Kita nyo di activity 1 dyan, ipasa yung activity 1 nyo. May nakapasa doon, 3 kabilog. Very good, very good. Sa activity number 2, the same man, dyan ninyo ipasa. Pero kung gusto niyo guys i-download ang module niyo guys, i-click niyo lang ang module nga dyan. Then ang PDF nga dyan, i-click niyo man. So pag-click niyo this is our module, no? So ano yung mahambal ninyo sa module naton? Medyo gwapo man or nami man ang design. Amo din module naton guys. Pasensya lang gid kamo ginawa ko gidaya ka obra nga mapanami kag matao kaninyo table. Kung gusto ninyo i-print ang module naton, ang first chapter pages nga do 7 pages daya ata, no? Oo, 7 pages. Kung gusto ninyo may hard copy kamo ka module naton, i-click nyo lang ang print na dyan, then ma-print na sa automatic. Na maamo dyan, tapos ma-print na siya. Okay, so print. Kung gusto niyo i-download, i-click nyo lang dayang ang download nga dyan. Then pag na-click nyo, isla nyo lang yan ng file name, then pag save ninyo, ma-download na guys. Actually, ang naka-PDF na siya. So kung gusto niyo may tamdan kamo sa balay niyo, pwede kung i-download ninyo. Ang niya, pwede niyo mabalik-balikan ang module. At the same time, pwede niyo ma-open sa inyong cellphone. So kung ma-save ninyo as PDF, pwede niyo ma-open sa dang cellphone ninyo kag malantaw ang module. So modegwa na. Okay? That's how are you going to download the module. Okay. Okay. So any questions, guys? Any questions regarding our activity and So next meeting, I will present to you ang ninyo doon. Ang inyong group mates. Pero I think mahimo ko daan ang grouping ninyo sa piyak nga section nga session sa udto sa sa hapon tuya ko i-draw lots. Ti ang listahan i-presentar ko di kaninyo di sa pagkaaga nga pagkasunod nga adlaw. So i-presentar ko and then i-post ko lang i-ano ninyo sa groupings kag ang sa FB group ang contact number ninyo para nga kamo lang gid ma-contact sa classmate ninyo para fair, para patas. Rason insa nga ako maano ka random. Hindi certain hindi pwede nga kami lang mag-group ka kaugalingon namon. Pwede man. In kaso lang ang napanumdum ko ang mga mahuroyon ninyo nga classmate ma-left behind kag wala sa that grouping. Iya tendency ka tawo kung wala siya group is nagapaloya lang kag hindi doon ta na mag-attend maghimo ka activity na highway tanat grupo. So para ma-erase ko ya biases ninyo sa isa kag isa, third year do kamo guys. So dapat kada kilala do ninyo or pangilalahon do ninyo mga classmate ninyo. Hay next year, fourth year do kamo. Kag kamo lang gid mabuligay kada. Hay kamo lang gid kada tandaan nyo bukod at karera ang pag-eskwela ha. It's not nga kung sino una or sino itaas grade, hindi amuda. Hindi amuda. Nga ang importante, yes, Jericho, may pamangkot ikaw?
Why sir, napindot lang sir, sorry.
Okay, sige. Ang dapat gabuligay kamo kay kamo lang gid kada guys ang makasolbar ka problema ninyo sa either group mates niyo or hindi. Now, base ang group member ninyo sa piyak nga section, okay lang da kay ng may paagi man kung paano kamo maka-istoryahanay. Pareho ka ginahimo naton tulad nga gabi, set kamo ka Google Meet kag tuya kamo istoryahanay. Di gani ang sa contact number na i-message nyo anay o tawagan nga magkita-anay kamo mag-Google Meet para ka istoryahanay kamo sa ninyo sa mga research problem ninyo ngayon. So amo daya imo i-supervise ta kamo guys, i-supervise ta kamo. Siguro ma-meet man kita siguro nga tingob. Para nga taman kamo ma-supervisean. Pwede man nga ma-provide kamo ka link, masulod lang ako kung anong madang nga oras. Or sa oras lang naton. Remember may oras kita. So pwede madaangadang kung tapos ko doon klase or before ko ka klase, pwede ko kamo maatunan or ma-organize. So that maka-meeting kamo kag maka-istoryahan na party sa activities ninyo sa research. Ang how many members sir ang iano naton sa grouping? Ang isa ka group may 4 ka membro gid. Ang pinakanaba gid is 3. Hay insa ma-assign kamo kung sino leader nyo, ma-assign kamo kung sino ang inyong programmer, ma-assign kamo kung sino ang researcher, ma-assign kamo kung sino ang all around. Taga timpla kape, taga runner nyo, kung sino i-assign niyo da sa isa kag isa. So kung hindi pwede nga isa nga duro leader nyo, hindi pwede maaway kamo kada. Hindi pwede nga duwa ka bilog researcher nyo, hindi pwede. Depende man, depende kaninyo kung pwede kung ano yung klase na. Or hindi ka mo mag-appoint ka leader basta daw harmonious ang relationship ng ninyo. So panginilahon ninyo ang group members ninyo kag sulbaron ninyo yung problema nyo. So wain nyo base ang research problem nga mga ninyo din maaprobahan base ang mamandaya himuon ninyo sa dusun tuig sa capstone nyo. So hindi do ka mo problema. Hindi do ka mo kay Ma'am Wenda kasi Ma'am Wenda ka capstone ninyo next year. So ang himuon naton is to prepare you so that next year simultaneous din ang tanan ninyo nga sa capstone ninyo capstone research. Okay, so I hope that napaunahan do kamo. Ang goal naton tulad nga midterm dapat maka-defend kamo ka title ninyo. So pang-isip do kamo ka 5 ka title. 5 ka title kay 3 ka title nga out of 5 ang modaya official ninyo nga research problem. Then ang number 1 ninyo nga ipilion, amo da i-defend ninyo sa panel pagka-final. Na amo da hay mahimo kamo doon ka chapters sa 1 to 3 ninyo. Na. So that's our final siguro requirement. Okay? Now, maskin grouping kamo guys, pero tawon ko kung may contribution kamo sa group ninyo. Kag ang grade ninyo individual. Naka-metrics man da. So, imbestigaran taman kamo gyapon nga apat sa ninyo sa grupo. So, kung mangkuton ko isa kon may naobrahan kamo or waay. Kung ano yung ginobrahan nyo. Kung sino yung leader, kung sino yung analyst, kung sino yung programmer, kung sino yung Okay? So, do you have any questions so far, guys? Do you have something to waay pa kita katapos. Hindi ka mo magdali, guys. Until 10 p.m. pa to. So, pwede man, kung waay kamot pamangkot, okay do kita, kay i-activate ko doon yung code of the day ninyo. Okay, so do you have any questions, guys? Okay, I assume nga waay ha. Kagklaro kaninyo yung tanan nato nga gina-discuss this evening. Okay. Ano pag yung comments? Basahon ko ano yung comments ninyo de. Why naman? Okay, sige. Thank you so much guys for attending our class this evening. Yes. Yes, Rose. And may pamangkot ikaw?
Di ba sir, ano mo man niya sa YouTube, sir?
Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
With your permission, guys, I will post this in YouTube later on, karon. And ang isa ka hindi ka mo matingala kung hindi nyo makita ang sapiak ng klase because naka-time na to. So amo na to. Disregard kung ano yung makita ninyo sa first class na to, hindi. Ang diya ninyo diya ka mo ang refer. Haiti amo dyan ginatinan ninyo nga klase. Lain man na to tanay code of the day or lain man. Iba man tulad sa kanaton diya. So that's how are you going to identify yourself kung din ka mo gaten nga klase kung sa hapon or sa gabi. So thank you guys. Do you ma-end na kita? May pamangkot pagid? Hay i-activate ko doon yung code of the day ninyo. Then please go to or tell your classmates nga may code of the day na. Lain man anda kada nga code, hiti lain man andang ginatinan nga klase. Sige. So thank you guys. Stop ko ng recording. And